This is Andy Perov, Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Joe Weller. Joe, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you, mate. How are you? Wait, do you want me to hold or are you?
I'll be all right.
Okay.
I'll be all right. But thanks for the offer anyway. Obviously, never had the chance to catch up with you yesterday at the open workout, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on the entire occasion. Firstly, just starting off with the fighters themselves. What did you make of Logan Paul in the ring?
To be fair, he looked focused, as did JJ. Like, they both look ready. I think, they obviously wanted to be taken seriously. I know, like, Logan seemed to want to still do, the goofing around, get inside JJ's head with, like, the mind games and stuff, but he did look focused. I will say, I think he had a little bit of nervous energy, like, how he was sort of running around the ring and, like, very just, like, expressive. I don't know if that, like, adrenaline, that was almost a problem last time. Like, he had that adrenaline dump, like, during the fight, and you don't know how well he's going to be coping with the adrenaline, like, leading up to the fight. So but apart from that, he looked powerful. I would have liked to have seen him do pads or do something where we can actually see, like, something. JJ did that, which was cool, but I guess maybe they don't want to give too much away or whatever. But it was good. I thought he was great.
So then, obviously, when JJ was doing his workout, what did you make of him in there?
Again, very focused, very composed. He just looked like, he's waved at the crowd and whatever, but he was there to just, follow instructions and do what he needed to do, really. So, he looked good. I would have liked to have seen a bit more boxing, obviously lots of stretching and stuff. To see him do a lot more shadow boxing and not just doing combinations that he's being told to do, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It would have been good to see, how he functions just throwing off his own accord. Because I know firsthand, like, you can look good on pads, and then it may come to when you've got to think on your feet, and nothing really flows as well. So I understand they're going to leave it for the fight. They don't want to give too much away. So it's building the excitement.
From when you fought JJ, and then from when KSI fought Logan Paul last time out, I should just say JJ, confusion, to stop any confusion. What do you think he needed to improve on during since both of those fights?
I think, obviously, always the technique of throwing punches. Like, obviously, his wild sort of swinging is so unorthodox that I think, like, that can be what throws, Logan off. The fact Logan may be training to take normal punches, but if JJ's doing these weird, like, looping hooks, like, it could, it almost did work in his favour last time. But I think, with 10-ounce gloves and no head guard, JJ needs to be able to defend himself, no hands down the whole time, defend himself and be able to, counter punch and offload, like, efficiently. He can't just go, I'm just going to make this a fight and just, throw the kitchen sink, because I think he'll get caught this time and it will hurt, and it will, these aren't big pillows like last time. So,
Obviously, like I've said, you've shared the ring with JJ. What type of aura or presence did you kind of feel with him? Did you maybe at all feel intimidated? Does he kind of carry anything which can give him any kind of advantage over Logan come Saturday?
Well, for me, like, before I started YouTube, I was a big fan of his. Like, he was sort of my main inspiration. I think subconsciously, the whole, like, I'm going against KSI, the big KSI, I think that sort of affected me and made me almost not, like, feel not able to, like, to take on this huge empire that he had. I know it sounds weird, but I think subconsciously that happened, and that's why I didn't express myself like I believed I could win. And on top of that, obviously what he's doing to Logan, he's you hear him talk and you believe every word he says. Like, JJ seems so convinced that he's going to do this and destroy Logan, even though he's never, we've never seen JJ fully knock someone out in a match. Obviously, we've seen, like, sparring videos, but you can't take as much away from that. There's not loads to back up that KSI is a great boxer. We haven't seen a lot. So the fact he can talk such a good game and make us believe it, I think, is what could get into Logan's head.
I mean, Logan Paul himself, he obviously has a huge social media following, as I know everybody is aware. What do you think his kind of advantages will be with regards to when he steps into the ring and he's looking across at KSI?
I think definitely the home advantage, the fact he's not having to travel, jet lag, stay in a strange place, be intimidated by the UK fans. He's chilling at home, he's comfortable, and I feel like that's where Logan operates best. Not being uptight and, like, playing the mean guy. He wants to be chilled. and I think that's going to be a huge factor in enabling him to sort of like perform at his best. As well, I think the fact that he's had 14 months of training, you can't dispute that the person that's training more and that's been more active should be in better condition. Saying that, he may have overtrained. He may be, have knackered himself out. That's what I did for 7 months. I went 6 hours a day training like ham, and 2 months even before, I was like, I need a break. I was like, I can't, you know what I mean? And then you just keep pushing through it. So, we don't know. We don't know if any of them may be carrying an injury, or if they got knocked out in sparring recently. They'll always say, oh yeah, never been knocked down, never been hurt. They've been hurt. Both of them will have solidly been hurt, or else they haven't been put up against the right test. So yeah, interesting.
Is it, just to stick on something you've just said there, you mentioned sparring. Yeah. Something that's interesting to me in the sense that what level of opposition or what type of fighter could you actually call up and arrange some form of sparring with in preparation for a bout like this? For example, in your case, who was you able to maybe get a hold of, and who do you think the KSI's or the Logan Pauls was able to get a hold of?
Well, I think Logan and JJ both have much bigger budgets.
We've seen your YouTube channel, don't give us that.
No. In order to get top professionals in, I was sparring, local guys that, gave up their time to help me out. But I think they'll be getting the best sort of opponents to spar against that they can. Not too good that are just going to toy around with them, but, enough to test them. And I think the big thing as well is like, can these guys get people in that they can trust? Because a lot of people are chasing the clout nowadays. They want to get followers, and you knocked down Logan Paul, what are you going to do? Tell everyone. So they must be signed. I don't know, they've got to trust these people, because you can sign contracts, but I don't know, information does get out, I guess.
One thing that's interesting me as well, which I never had a chance to chat to you about yesterday once again, was on Monday at the 40-day screening, KSI said he's going to produce one of the greatest knockouts in boxing history. From those words, what would you take from it?
Come on. Look, he's not going to do that, in my opinion. But that's not to say he won't get a knockout. I think he's capable of it, 100%. But I think it's that thing of like, if he believes he can do that, then he can do it. I think that's what it comes down to with JJ. Like, if he believes he can do anything, music, acting, YouTube, like he can put his mind to it and achieve it, or get as close as possible. I think the second he goes, ooh, maybe I'm not as good as I thought, that's when I think it'll all go downhill. So I think Logan's just got to try and break JJ's heart. Make him panic, make him feel like, I can't do this. I don't think Logan should dive in early on trying to chase the knockout.
Obviously, yourself in having preparations for that one fight with JJ, just how grueling a boxing camp can be. We work in boxing where we see day in, day out just how much fighters have to give up just to make weight by a matter of ounces, and the differences that those ounces can make to their health and well-being. How difficult did you find maybe cutting weight or trying to just get in shape for the fight?
So the funny thing was, I was really lean, ripped before the camp, but I was weighing 74 kilos. KSI was 90 kilos. So I had to put on weight, and overeating in the way that I had to, because I was like burning like 5k calories a day minimum. So I was having to force feed, and that was horrible, mate. I'd throw up. Like I didn't want to eat. Adrenaline from fighting every day, that doesn't make you overly hungry. So yeah, I was really having to force feed. And then as well, I guess the little thing of like, I look at myself on the scales, and I was like, man, I don't even look like I'm in condition. I don't look like I've been training. And it's because I was having to carry so much more fat to try and make weight. So I wasn't at a comfortable weight to operate as quickly and as efficiently as I wanted to, which did have an effect as well. Whereas JJ was nicely in his comfortable zone. And yeah, that's the big thing. That's why we have weight classes. And I should have enforced that.
What do you think the dangers are for somebody coming into the ring for the first time in preparation for about example what you had to go through and what others may have to go through?
Adrenaline sensory overload. I don't know if that's the official term, but it's basically where you have obviously uncontrollable amounts of adrenaline pumping through your body that it just overloads your senses and you do nothing, or you just do everything. You just don't operate how you normally would. And part of me is like, okay, that must be to do with your preparation leading up to the fight that should allow you to not, get so nervous. But then part of me is like, are some people just a lot more susceptible to that? Because, whether it be my driving test, football matches, I always seem to get so nervous that I freeze. And maybe that's something I have. But I think that's the biggest thing. Preparing to perform, live perform, is the biggest thing. You can do all the fighting behind closed doors that you want, but if you're in front of thousands of people and you're not used to that, then that's going to throw you off doing anything, even just talking or walking in and, normally. That's the big thing, the performing in front of people. And I will say, JJ doing a music tour, that everyone's saying, oh, that must have been so bad. He's had like half a year to prepare to do whatever he needs to in front of a crowd, whereas Logan's been like more locked away, not getting as much public viewership on his performances. So that could be a factor.
Just to touch on the nerves aspect, yourself, JJ, Logan Paul, like we've said, you've all got huge social media followings. You'll be recognised wherever you go across LA or across the world. You'll be recognised. What do you think it is that you couldn't just get in the ring and just be able to zone in and focus on the task at hand and what you're preparing to go in for?
I think I actually need to see a psychologist about that, if I'm honest, mate. I'd love to tell you, but I try and figure it out for myself. Why can't I just zone in and just not care about who's watching? But no matter how when I'm in the moment, and then thinking, okay, I need to not care. I block it out, and you can pretend all you like, and that's what I was doing. I remember going out I don't care. It's fine. I got this. But if subconsciously if you don't really not care, then it will show. So that's, I think in order to actually figure that out, mate, I need to see someone who actually knows and can tell me. So if anyone's watching, sports psychologist, saying that, actually, do you know Believe in Bruce, the YouTuber?
I do.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of analysis on this fight. I love his stuff. I think actually speaking to him would actually do me some good. So if you're watching, mate, let me know. In fact, I might message you. So, yeah.
Just a couple more quick questions before I do let you shoot off. Why boxing? Why not any other sport? Why boxing? Why get involved in this one?
So this is the thing, obviously, we started as it was a YouTube video, a one-off video. I think it's just the fact of my eyes lit up, not necessarily because it was boxing at first, but because when KSI called me out, that concept of just going against who was, my idol back in the day, again, in any sort of, one-on-one sport, that was go on, yeah, 100%. It just so happened that it was a fight. But me, I've been athletic my whole life. I've always done sport. Used to play for Brighton and Hove Albion. I've done it at a decent level. And it's just, I guess I didn't want to shy away from the challenge. This was my moment to show, I can do this. It just so happened that it was boxing. And through doing it, I've fallen in love properly with the sport of boxing. I watch every pay-per-view. I follow all the stars. I watch your channel, IFL. But I can't shout them out on this one, can I? I watch IFL. I love Coogan stuff. I mean, just only the Betfred Boxing Social. But basically, I love it all. Long may it continue. I love seeing what JJ and Logan are doing. It's amazing. But the unique thing is their personalities. So we could see, I don't know, the Jake Paul versus Anison Gibb fight. I'm sure their personalities will shine through, but it all relies on that entertainment factor for me in order for this YouTube boxing thing to continue.
That's what I was about to ask you. How far do you think this YouTube boxing, I don't know whether to say phase or this period, how much longer can it go on for and how big could it become? Yeah.
Well, I think as long as there's people that are pushing the fights, i.e., two people saying, I want to fight, on YouTube, the audiences will get behind it, 100%. Obviously, that you've got to be of a decent following. But, I'm looking into maybe putting on an event myself, be the Eddie Hearn of YouTube. Because why not? I started it, I know I'm really invested in it, so why not? It may not be professional, we may go back to head guards, but I'm definitely interested, if there's enough YouTubers out there that want to get on a card and get the exposure that comes with fighting on a YouTube boxing event. I mean, you see it, I would be interested in promoting that and running a show with it. So, if you're interested, let's talk.
Perfect words to end on there, Joe Weller. Joe Weller, before I do let you shoot off, final word to yourself before I do let you go.
Final words to myself.
What would you like to say to everybody, I should say?
Oh, to everyone. Respect Boxing Social, the graft. Like, these guys are everywhere. Honestly, everywhere I've been this week so far, they're there. So, great grind. Respect to the viewers. Peace.
Joe Weller, thanks for speaking to myself and Boxing Social.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much. Cheers.